How is it going, boys and girls? Welcome back to Key West Waterman. My name is Aaron Young. Today is red snapper season opener for the commercial sector. If you're not familiar, red snapper is a very controversial fishery down here. I personally think it's unreasonably mismanaged. But today, the commercial sector opens. Recreational sector only gets one day. I think it's July 12th. But I have a commercial permit, so I'm allowed to go out and harvest. I'm only allowed to have 75 pounds, so a lot of guys won't even mess with the red snapper, but I'll be honest, I'm doing this for the sake of a video. But I'm ready to go. Solo today, just got the rods and some bait, and it's a decent day. 10 to 15 out of the southeast. It'll be a little bumpy, but we're gonna get out there, see if we can locate some of the elusive red snapper. All right, I'm about in the area I'd like to be. The red snapper down here in Key West are in very specific areas. The depths up the coast of Florida fluctuate so much. Where I grew up in Port Canaveral, they get them really shallow. Down here, they tend to be a deeper fish, and there's only certain, you'll catch them sometimes mutton fishing in certain spots, but there are, in my findings, they hang in very specific areas. So I'm in one of them. I'm in probably the most popular red snapper area that I know of down here. And before I'd like obviously to get anchored up on some stuff. I'm in 220. There's just little ledges and potholes are very subtle. You can see some stuff on the bottom, but I'd like to fish these fish anchored. It's just less work for me, but before I get anchored, it's quite a hassle to anchor in 220. I'm gonna drive around and see if I can mark a decent ball of life, maybe do a couple of drifts and drift some baits, and see if we can locate some fish before we do that. So that's what I'm doing right now. So I found a decent mark on the bottom. I'm gonna give it a drift before I anchor up. I'm just fishing a single hook chicken rig. Typically red snapper aren't very picky. There are exceptions, but typically if they're there, they're gonna eat squid. This is a chunk of cut bonita. You can use live bait, but a lot of times it's not required. But we will see if they are down there or if it's something else. Little thump there. I'm fishing a circle hook, so I don't really have to slam it. Just reel into it, it'll normally set. The red snapper are feisty little things. They typically aren't gonna mess around with you too much. This almost feels like whatever this is just picking at it. Right when I turned the camera off, something smacked it. That might be the right one. See, it gave up. Got a lot easier to fight, so it's either a grouper or a snapper. Got color. Yeah, baby. Not the one I'm looking for. Oh no, it is. Sorry, I saw the belly and I thought it was a mutton. There we are. That is our red snapper. A nice one. I'm going to get it back down. Now, to be clear, I do this because I enjoy it. I'm not a full-time commercial fisherman. If I was doing this for a living, I'd be using a bandit reel or an electric reel of some sort. I just do this. I do this here and there just because I enjoy it. But commercial fishing, time is money. This is not the efficient way. smaller. Bit of a smaller fish. Yeah. So these don't actually have a size limit, and I am commercial. So they're coming with me. Honestly though, if I were to have to eat a red snapper, that's the one I'd want to eat. Pulled it right out of his mouth. I can't tell what that is. Kind of a weird fight. Oh, it is a shark. Baby shark. So got one nice one there, one small one. I'd like to try a different spot and see if I can stay on some bigger ones. It makes it a lot faster. So I'm gonna move down just a little bit and see if I can get on a better school of fish. So I'm gonna give this one a try. Some of these spots look so subtle, like you'd never know. It's got just enough scratch on it though. Just very subtle hard bottom. Give that one a try. The second I got on the bottom, something smacked it. Like maybe little stuff. Yeah, I think it's smaller fish. I feel like they're picking. Not too small. Medium? Medium small. Bad one. Take it. Not as big as the other one we caught, but we'll go to the market nonetheless. We're gonna try another one on that spot. Like I said, a lot of times when there's one, there's a bunch of them. I just haven't had that spot yet that I found that's just stacked, so I can anchor up and get this done. These fish move around quite a bit, and I can't remember if I said it earlier. The seasons are so limited on them, we don't spend a lot of time targeting them. So if you only get to fish them one time a year, you don't get a lot of time to stay on top of them and check those spots. There we go. There's another medium one. They seem to be hungry here. It's like the second I get on the bottom. May have to anchor up on this spot. Second fish. They are hungry. They're not monsters, but it's like this second it gets down there. They may be following it down for all I know, because the bait's starting to move up in the column a little bit. Oh, that one felt better. That one had a little boogie on it. Okay. That one's got a little more weight, whatever it is. Whew. Oh man. I earned my paycheck today. Color. Yeah. That's the red snapper I'm looking for. I'm feeling that one in my arm. So they are here. Finally found a nice good ball of them. We're gonna anchor up and see if we can put them in the boat a little quicker. It's almost already noon. So this is something that always blows my mind, and I showed you the little blip when I first pulled up on this spot. Little hump, nice life, but nothing like crazy. But I catch 3 fish, do a couple drifts, and it is amazing what action does. So I always say, if you're new to the channel, action brings action. And this is proof of that. When I first got here, there was a little blip on the bottom. That's after 3 fish. Just look at all the stuff that shows up once they sense and feel all that commotion in the water. It's unbelievable. Whether or not these are red snapper up here, I'm not sure. It very well could be if they may came all the way up. But I'm gonna get anchored up on the front edge of this and see if we can get this done. So, because these red snapper are so restricted and all that stuff, we have a different limit than we normally would. I have a South Atlantic grouper snapper permit on the boat. That's why I'm allowed to keep these and sell them. But instead of being, my permit is typically 225 pounds of grouper or snapper. Red snapper is an exception. The limit for red snapper is 75 pounds gutted weight. And because my cooler, I'm used to filling it up to 225, I know where that number is. To do it to 75, I'm gonna have to keep track of these as I go. So I have to weigh them as I put them in there, just to keep track. I already have, I've got about 10 pounds up front. So that's 3 pounds, 13, 16, 24. Not 24 pounds total. That puts me I'm at 24 pounds right now. So I've got another 50 pounds to go. All right, let's get to fishing. We are on anchor. Hopefully I can get these fish to stay in this area. Make this a lot faster. Only 50 pounds to go. Uh-oh. I think a shark just grabbed it. Don't do this. That is a shark. Caught 3 fish, no problem. There's nothing I can do there. Perfect. Love it when the sharks show up. I'll show you on the screen what I was looking at. So this little line was my bait coming down. You can see all the fish saw it, all the fish followed it. Bait hit the bottom, something ate it. I got it up, this little big mark. It's a shark following it up, and a shark ate it at about 75 feet. We're gonna try one more. If I get sharked again, we're gonna move because I don't want to sit here and feed the sharks. All right, we're going back down. See if hopefully that shark was just an anomaly. I kid you not. It is the second it hits the bottom here. Whew. I have to take 5. Ah, something right there. What was that, a barracuda? I still got the better part of that fish. It doesn't even look like a shark. It looks like a barracuda following it. So most fish, if they got cut and they were undersized, you're not allowed to keep what's left if what's left is undersized. I know that's silly, but red snapper actually don't have a size limit on them. So I don't gotta worry about that. Better ones. All right, not bad. So I like the gut as I go because You get to the market, you sell these fish, they have to be gutted. Just one less thing to do when I get back in, gives me a little break. And normally I just toss them overboard, but because I had that one shark show up, I want to have at least amount of chum or bait in the water as possible, so I'll just keep the entrails in a bucket until I leave, and then I'll dump them all. So I'm gonna go up to 50. Just lost a really nice one there. I'm gonna go up to 50 and a bigger hook. Maybe the bigger hook I can single out the small ones, or single out the big ones to keep the small one from eating it. Realistically, if I hook, you know, 4 big ones, I'm almost done. 4 or 5 more. I have 37 pounds right now. I'm fully aware I could just hook up the electric reel and be done in like 30 minutes, but I'm trying to do this the old-fashioned way. Bigger hook, bigger bait. There we go. These red snapper will push 20 pounds, but that's a very nice one. I will take it. All right. So those last 3 fish put us at 50 pounds. My back is killing me. It's telling me to get the electric out, but I'm gonna try and finish this by hand. You don't realize, you reel in a couple fish from deep, it doesn't feel that bad, but man, you reel in 10 to 15 of them from 220, your back will start to feel it. But it's 130, 50 pounds, I can have 25 more pounds, so I'm gonna power through it. A couple big ones, or maybe another 5 medium ones. Depends what size they come up, I guess, but we're gonna get it done one way or another. Oh, I need that thing. Cut the scar. Oh, no. It's still in there. Woo, almost lost it there. Too much slack. I don't know. That was weird. It started out really heavy and got maybe a little easier. Oh. Just kidding, I don't know. Maybe a shark grabbed it? It doesn't feel like a shark yet. Maybe. Dang it! That feels like a shark. I can't tell, actually. Yeah, I don't think that's a snapper. I don't know though, because it's shark typically is gonna just keep going unless it's a small shark. It still has those snapper head digs to it, so I don't want to give up. You never know. Or maybe a jack. Oh, this is not the one I needed to hook right now. I'm so tired. This is a day ender. This has got to be a shark. Snapper would have given up by now. They get, 150 feet, 100 feet off the bottom. they'll start to give up. I don't know though. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully it's a 25-pound red snapper. I could be done. The fact that it's just still kicking is making me think it's not. I don't know what this is. My form's getting sloppy because I'm so tired. It's gotta be like a jack or something. What do we got? We got color. Ah, big jack. Dang it! You're not what I wanted, buddy. The jacks are closed right now. Try and get this out of his mouth. There we go. Go down, buddy. I couldn't get my hand on him to get the descender on him, but he got free from the back of the boat, but he went down. He's gonna be down slow, but oh my goodness. On that note, I think I'm gonna move. I was having, when I first got here, second year on the bottom, snapper immediately. And geez, I'm out of breath. Took a few minutes between bites, got one nice red snapper there, and then that jack, but it really slowed down. Long story short, I'm gonna move to another spot. Try and finish this out. I need 25 more pounds. Let's see who's home. Try and finish it out here. I'm on a new spot. It doesn't look like much on the screen. I'll throw it up there. Very subtle. I didn't mark anything, but I've caught a lot of big red snapper here in the past. So we're gonna try. A lot of times you don't mark something until you hook something and everything gets going, but I would really like to be able to catch the last few on a drift because anchoring this deep is quite the task. But we'll see, just a little shallower. Similar bottom, I'm just not marking as much yet. Here we go. Oh, second I hit the bottom. Whew, definitely gave up a little bit. Hit it like a freight train. Kind of feels a little smaller now, but I've also got 8 hours of fishing on my arms. There we go. Not bad at all. The elusive red snapper. There we go. This one. Big old shark. Yeah, buddy. Nice. All right, fingers crossed. Last drop. So that last fish ate about 50 feet off the bottom, so I'm gonna stop it up in the column. Just like that. Oh, I hope that's a snapper, because that's going to be a good one. Woo, getting sloppy, so tired. pooped. Yes, this is it. I got color. Look, that fish high in the column. What do we got chasing it? Big old shark chasing it. The shark right here. I don't know if the polarizer picks him up. Go back down. Here we go, baby. Woo! I am pooped. That is our last red of the day. Beautiful one to end it on. Thank you, thank you, thank you, buddy. Oh, look at the shark. And there we are. That should be just under our commercial limit. 75 pounds gutted is what I'm allowed to have. We should be right there. Should be around 65, 70 pounds. Just what I find interesting, won't get too much into this. So supposedly, if you're not familiar, down here in Florida, supposedly red snappers are endangered. The populations are critically low. They've been saying this for years. There are videos and studies and all kinds of firsthand experience from all kinds of fishermen across the state that can prove otherwise. But in my opinion, if a fish's population, a specific species, was critically low, the odds of me being able to go out and target just that fish should almost be impossible. Excuse me, almost be impossible. I fished for 8 hours. The only 3 fish I caught as bycatch were 2 small sharks and 1 amberjack. Now, I don't even know if I could go do that with mangrove snapper or yellowtail, and those populations are out of this world. So that's just something I think is interesting. This, I could talk about it for hours. The red snapper thing has gone on for years and years. I think it's ridiculous that they're still limiting it as much as they are. Right here, I fished 8 hours. I caught only red snapper. I just find it amazing. There's videos back where I grew up in Port Canaveral where these things are on the surface, jumping out of the water, chasing bait and stuff. The populations are just insane, but who knows? Who knows why they keep it closed? But I'm done out here. That's the end of my speech. Had a ton of fun. My arms are sore. They feel like wet noodles. The shark's still following me? Yeah, the shark's still following me. You probably can't see him right over here. But yeah, I'm done. I'm gonna head back, get these to the market. I'll get you guys that commercial check you like. We'll talk about what I made for the day. And I'll even throw in the YouTube videos profit as well, because if you take in just the fish sold, I'm gonna be very close to breaking even, maybe make 150 bucks, but I'll throw in the videos profit as well. So I'll see you guys back at the dock in a bit. Yeehaw. Woo. Alrighty, I've got some commercial numbers here for you. Before I share these, I did want to just clear something up. I was in there editing, actually, and I may have come off a certain way about the red snapper, and I just want to be clear, and if you watch the channel, you know this. If you're new to the channel, you may not. I am all for conservation. I think it's great what a lot of the programs do. Without it, I think a lot of our natural resources, fish species, and the fisheries in general would be in a lot of trouble. Humans in general have this tendency to take advantage of natural resources. I think human history has proved that time over and over again. But I'm all for conservation. Specifically red snapper speaking, I think it's gone too far. At one point in time, if you've been around long enough, red snapper did need help. I will be the first to admit that. But the rebuild plan worked. There are more red snapper than ever. The populations are thriving. I just was getting at that. It's gone on too long. I think it's time to loosen the grip a little bit. Should it be open year round, 5 per person? No, I don't think so. But I do think that the recreational sector deserves more than 1 day a year. So that's the end of my red snapper speech. But let's get to these commercial numbers. So we had right at our 75-pound gutted limit of red snapper. And these numbers are roundabout, so don't check my math, I'm rounding. Total sale for the fish was about $475. Total expenses for the day, about $250. Gas, ice, and all that stuff. So total fish profit for the day, $225. Not terrible. Can you get by commercial fishing for a living, making $225 a day? Probably not, because there's a lot more expenses that go into the boat and all that boat slip maintenance, all that stuff, all the gear. So daily profit, 225 bucks. Now, as a YouTuber, I have an advantage that most commercial fishermen don't. My videos make income. So just keep in mind, I've been at this for 5 years. There are a lot of expenses that go into the YouTube as well, and this is more of a daily profit. But on average, the videos make anywhere between 500 to 1,000 per video in the first week. Now, if a video goes crazy and goes nuts and gets all kinds of views, obviously it's going to be more, but we're just going to take an average. So we'll pick a number in between that. We'll say the video makes, hypothetically, the video hasn't been out yet, so this is hypothetical. Say the video makes 750 bucks. Tack that on to the 225. We're right around $1,000 for the day. That's incredible. So hopefully this video does average and I'll make $1,000 on this trip, which is great. I know that sounds maybe like a ton of money, but I don't do it every day. Keep in mind, I make one video a week, so about 4 a month on average. But I have no complaints. How awesome is that? I've been at this for a long time, so the fact that I can go fishing by myself, just enjoy the water out there and catch some fish and make a good paycheck doing it is just still unbelievable. But that is all I have. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Any questions, get on here in the first hour of the episodes. Every Monday at 6 p.m. I release an episode. Within the first hour, 6 to 7 p.m. I'm on there and I answer any questions you guys have. But that is all I got. Thanks so much for your time. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you on the next one.